We have the Haribo twin snakes.
Cyberpunk is an RPG with many ways to go about its story. From blasting dudes' head open with shotguns to slicing chicks in half with mantis blades. But what about something more covert? Something slithery? Almost like a snake. A solid snake.
No, that is not Solid Snake.
So today we answer the question, can you beat Cyberpunk 2077 as Snake? But which Snake? Well, since MGS Delta just came out, might as well be Naked Snake. The rules of this challenge are designed to up the difficulty in stealthing Cyberpunk. Rule 1. Stealth must be done whenever possible in any combat encounter. In some scenarios, the game is scripted to where you can't stealth it. In those cases, I ignore this rule. Rule 2. I must act and choose if I am Naked Snake, which is difficult because understanding the deep intricacies of his mind is only possible if I was Hideo Kojima himself. Rule 3. I'm not allowed to kill anyone. How's the game possible then? That's a secret I'll share with you later. And Rule 4. Sandivistan and quick hacks are not allowed. For starters, I do not think it's related to this challenge, nor do I think Snake would have access to that tech. For optical camo though, the cyberware is allowed, since in the games there's a stealth suit, which quote, uses weaving tech for optical camo. Also, Rule 5, which I don't normally write down, but I do this for most of my challenges. This will be done on the hardest difficulty. Rules 1 and 2 are sort of designed around the Foxhound title in the MGS series, though technically not Foxhound, but Also, before we start, this video will contain major spoilers for Cyberpunk 2077 and its DLC, Phantom Liberty. I highly encourage you to play both on your own, especially the DLC, because it's truly a fantastic game. Alright, here we go. Oh, wait, sorry, one last interruption. Now that I finally have everything ready, I will start getting my YouTube rolling. To do this, I happily invite all of you who are interested to join my Discord, with the link in the description. Alright, now we can start the run for real this time. Starting us off, I decided to choose the Corpo path because I believe it best reflects Snake's 14 years of service before Operation Snake Eater. I then spend a small amount of time trying to get Snake to look right based on images from the most recent game, MGS Delta. I actually make a mistake here by making his eyes green, because I later find out that his eyes are meant to be grayish blue, which it does look like in the other games, so whoops. After that failure of a recreation, I then move on and put all my starter points in the Cool for stealth and the pistol build, technical ability for cyberware boost, and 1 extra point into body, which will prove useful later on. Once I gain consciousness, I am called to my boss's office, and then ordered to kill my boss's boss, so my boss can become my boss's boss, and then I become the boss. A big boss. Call that bossception. He then lets me use his AV to fly over to the club to meet my homeboy. Once I pull up, some guys try to press me for stopping their basketball game. I proceed to show them my expert CQC skills before doing a full court shot over their unconscious asses. I then head downstairs and dap up my boy Jackie as we talk biz. We are then interrupted by my boss's boss soldiers. They cut off my life support and was about to slime me out, till Jackie stands up for me, and then he daps me up into the starter cutscene. After that cutscene, we enter our first gig. We head downstairs to an apartment complex and then boom! Challenge failed. Because I am forced to use a quick hack. Since it's forced, I will of course continue, but it is important to note. Inside the apartment, I start carefully taking out each of the scavs one by one, with some help from Jackie. We then find the target sitting in a tub of ice. I pull up a YouTube tech help video and figure out how to take her out of comatose. She then starts steezing up, and I give her some expired Fent before handing her over to the trauma team. On our ride home from a job well done, we get in a drive-by shooting with the very same scavs. Fun fact about this section, you don't have to fire at all, nor kill anyone. You just sit back and watch everybody die. After arriving home, I get a call from High Command. The weapon you've got equipped now is a prototype model of the Liberty pistol, a common handgun found in Night City, equipped with a suppressor. It's been modified to act as a tranquilizer gun. It's a classic 14-round semi-automatic magazine-fed handgun. It's designed to have a high fire rate with appropriately high recoil. It is very similar to its little brother, the Unity, although it has a longer barrel, which allows for proper mounting for a suppressor and more bullet velocity. So it won't kill anyone? Nope, it's been designed to incapacitate, not eliminate. It's good to hear. I then met up with Jackie. He told me of our next gig with Dexter Deshawn, which smelled like trouble, but we couldn't pass up a chance at glory. We then made our way over to Doc Vic's, where I got chromed up. Now right here, I'm not able to remove the deck from my head yet, so I just got the basic tutorial cyberware. Once Vic was done slicing me up, I puffed on my blue raspberry elf bar and left to meet Dexter. Is that Rick Ross? Dexter Deshawn shows us what we have to do. A heist for an Arasaka chip. But we need to get a few things first. A flathead and some info from the agent, one being worse than the other. He then drops me off on the curb. Now you might think this is where we go get the flathead robot, and that's not the plan. Instead, we need to get to level 10. I need to have proper stealth skill before I can attempt any of the main missions, or else it'll be pure cancer. Of course, I still have to follow the rules while getting these side missions done, but how to edit several hours of random side quest gigs. Montage. Let's see here, this should do.
Darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'm
After getting horribly bored from doing side content, I decided to do the main mission.
But Ghost, didn't you say you need to be level 10?
Yes, I did. But one of the main missions has 0 combat encounters, so I could just do it for an easy level. I swing over to the club and get complimented by some nice individuals before meeting the client. She takes me downstairs and I hop into a brain dance recording of her inside the apartments we were about to rob. Of which hey, what the? This isn't the brain dance. Here we go. Anywho, I speedrun it and find it in like 30 seconds flat. This is just a boring quest. On my way out though, she takes me to the side and then tells me her plan to cut out Dexter from the split. Me, being Snake, I am not a fan of betrayal and decline her offer. Now that we are finally level 10, I can sprint while crouched and can buy optical camo. As an amazing man once said,
The real game finally begins.
first things first, I get the right perks, and then head over to the Ripper Dock to get chromed the hell up. This will help us in a majority of the run. Now that we are prepared enough for the job, I pulled up to get the flathead. Now, I'm gonna reveal something to you. I never planned to take the bot by force. I was going to buy it off them, because it's the easiest way to handle the situation.
Then why all the prep time?
You might be asking. Well, that was because, well, money and the actual heist. I pull up to Jackster, we shoot the shit and then head inside. We meet Dum Dum, who might be one of my favorite characters. I decline his offer for a puff on the laced Lost Mary, and he shows me the flathead. I say we'll take it, but an asshole interrupts. I just pay him to shut up with no bloodshed, and we head out the building without a scratch. That was certainly easy. Me and Jackster delivered the flathead to Dexter during a debrief. He gave us more info on the heist, such as our disguises and whatnot. I then snitch on Evelyn, the client, because Snake has a deep loyalty at this stage. Dexter gives us a big smile, and thanks us by increasing our cut of the profit. After all that, we are finally ready for the heist. Me and Jackster hop into the Delamain. We then ride to Arasaka Hotel, and I leave my gun behind in the Delamain. Getting through security was almost an issue, but then we meet the lady at the front desk.
こそ私のソウルソサエティへ
Snapping back to reality, we pass at the bar where I decided to pit stop for an eavesdrop. That was until a certain man caught my eye. The glorious, beautiful, amazing man himself, Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima is the Martin Scorsese of the gaming world. Famed for his Metal Gear Solid franchise, he now creates cinematic and often unsettling worlds on multi-million-dollar budgets and with Hollywood actors.
Well, that was the peak of the run. Anywho, I leave to meet up with Jackster upstairs, where I have to control the flathead bot, which is kinda a bland section. I jack into the skull of the poor chair jockey before we have to wait. Guess it's a good time for a cigar. Finally, we go up to the hotel, crack open the vault, and whoop-de-doo, the chip is in our hands, baby. Millions of eddies still in our grasp. That was until we got interrupted by the meeting we weren't prepared for. With some awful quick thinking, me and Jack hide in the TV thingy. Holding our breath, we see Adam Smasher, who definitely sees us, and then the Emperor. What could he want with his son?
これでもう誰のことも許す必要はない
We got the dip. So me and Jackie head out the window, start crawling to a nearby maintenance ladder till fuck, my head is ringing. And the box is damaged. Jackie takes the initiative and jacks it straight into his skull. We now have to sneak out of the building. It's slow, but with careful and strategic usage of my movement, it can be beautifully done. After that debacle, me and Jackie get to the elevator, and then to the garage, where Delamain comes picks us up. Besides Smasher trying to kill us, we got out pretty fine, except for the drone. Okay, so here's a moral gray zone, right? I have to kill the drones here, but is that against the rules though? In several of the MGS games, Snake takes out robotic enemies, and they aren't really alive, so I won't count it against the challenge. If you think different, feel free to comment below. We finally made it out. We made it with the chip. We did it. We are living legends, me and Jackie. Jackie?
Don't do it for me.
I step out of the car and go to meet Dexter. He was obviously panicking, and we needed a plan. He tells me to clean the blood off my face, so I head to the bathroom and stare at myself in the mirror. After venting my emotions, I leave the bathroom and
Remember our first convo?
I'll fucking kill
Seems
you!
I've chosen the quiet life after all. No blaze of glory for me.
waking up from my early nap, Takemura hits me with what is basically liquid meth and asks me for help. This section is, by all seriousness, a challenge failure. I have to kill these guys, and I didn't even know you could fail this section beforehand. Either way, I am forced to kill several individuals in this survival scene. We inevitably crash, and Takemura drags me to Vix. I'm basically in a coma for weeks. Once I am in the talking stage, he informs me of the bad news. I am dying, and it's not because of a helicopter blade, it's because of the chip in my head, where I got shot. He sends me home because, insert American health joke here, Misty gives me some pills when I get to my apartment. One to help me fight the delusional voice in my head, or one to just kill myself. I of course won't be taking the latter. I try to get some shut-eye, but then I'm woken by a terrorist wanting cigarettes. When I tell him no, well,
Stick some iron in your mouth and pull the trigger.
once I wake up, I take a look in the mirror to see the damage Dexter Deshawn done. Takemura calls me up and asks to check. Not like I have many other options, so I show up. He tells me Arasaka can help me, but only if I help him bring justice against Saburo. I tell him I'll think about it, and he goes on his way. Johnny then interrupts and offers his apologies, saying he doesn't want me to kill myself anymore. Go figure. After that, I head over to Judy's, asking if she has seen Evelyn. She wanted the chip, so she would know how to save me, right? Judy gives me a lead to chase. Some stripper joint. Can I say that word on YouTube? Before I go there, Mama Wells calls me up. She invites me to Jackie's ofrenda. I, of course, show up and offer my respects. I usually choose the same item here every playthrough, which is the book. I thought it best represented him and his dream-chasing ideology.
When you go to war as a boy, you have a great illusion of immortality. Other people get killed, not you. Then, when you are badly wounded the first time, you lose that illusion.
Once my speech is over, Mama Wells gives me Jackie's bike, which I would be using for the rest of the playthrough. I head over to the club, get past the registration, and completely ignore the talking section with the chick. Instead, I head upstairs and sneak my way to Woodman's office, where I confront him directly. He tells me he sold her off and sent her to some carver named Fingers. I leave him alive and off to find Fingers. I jump through his clinic's window, interrupting a procedure. I let him finish before threatening to bash his face in case he didn't tell me everything I need to know. Our lead takes us to a factory, which is pretty easily stealthable, except for one specific part because Judy decides to take the initiative with an outright shitty plan that cost me 2 resets just to deal with. We then find Evelyn unconscious, very worse for wear. After a cut to black, we wake up smoking a cigarette on a balcony. I head inside and see Evelyn still passed out. Judy apparently got a lead really quickly. A brain dance. And find out who I need to talk to. The Voodoo Boys. So I call up a fixer to get some info on them. In the meantime though, I head over to the afterlife and order the info I needed to find Hellman. Then I stop by a Ripper dock for some small chrome changes. I could go back to Rogue, but Hans calls me up first. That was fast. He tells me the Voodoo Boys got a job for me, and then they'll take me to their leader. I go along with it because, what's the worst that could happen? I go out and meet Placide. He takes me to his office where we go over the job details by forcibly jacking me into his PC. Whoa, not like that, wait. I didn't realize how that sounds. That's what it's called in game, jacking. Oh. I just gotta sneak into an abandoned mall full of roid heads and figure out what's going on there. It's so obvious that wasn't the full story. Either way, I have to do it. So we head out. Honestly, this part is pretty easy to stealth. I don't even have to knock out anybody, so I just sneak to the van and jack in. Once I jack into the van, the real truth behind this mission is revealed. See, Netwatch is a group that protects the entire world from super death AI. Wants to stop the Voodoo Boys from doing something clearly stupid. So now I have to go across the stadium and find the Netwatch agent. I sneak out the main mall room, but I didn't sneak past the boss. Instead, I stealthed them by sneak attacking them twice. It was a bit dirty, but I got the boss kill. Then I finally get to the Netwatch agent, which he reveals the Voodoo Boys planted a virus in my head to make me a walking kamikaze. Having been backstabbed, I decide to side with Netwatch and let him clean me of the virus in exchange for letting him live. Once I get back to the Voodoo Boys hideout, I call Placide out to his face. Bridget breaks us up before we tear each other's throats out, and then she tells me she can help me in exchange for helping her talk with an AI beyond the black wall. I didn't have much of a choice, so I go along and help her. She gives me an ice bath and then invites me to her private VR chat room. 2 VR chat jokes, you're so fucking creative. I then get sucked into Johnny's memories. Sex! And we eventually learn the past of what happened to Alt Cunningham. Turns out Arasaka kidnapped her and used her to make the super evil program that makes copies of people's brains, which also killed her. We then are forced to go into Blackwall to meet Cunningham. We get taken to a private net, where Cunningham tells us that if we can get her to Mikoshi, he can genuinely save us. I agree, and we wake up out of our ice bath, where we find out that everyone got slimed out. Knowing I was definitely in trouble, I start sneaking out of there. I quickly get past everyone with minimum issues, and stealthily take out Placide. Finally, I was free again.
I saw a corpse strip farmers of water, and eventually of land. Saw them transform Night City into a machine fueled by people's crushed spirits, broken dreams, and empty pockets. Corps have long controlled our lives, taken lots, and now they're after our souls.
Might be right. Can't really argue with you there.
V, I've declared war not because capitalism's a thorn in my side or out of nostalgia for an America gone by. This war's a people's war against a system that spiraled out of our control. It's a war against the fucking forces of entropy. Understand? Do whatever it takes to stop them, defeat them, gut them. If I gotta kill, I'll kill. If I need your body, I'll fucking take it.
Johnny left me thinking until my thoughts were interrupted by an emergency call from an unknown caller. Apparently she can save me, but needs my help, so I show up pretty quickly outside of Dogtown. I start looking for her before...
I'm fucking tweaking! I'm fucking tweaking!
Once that was over, Songbird tells me that the president of the new United States is in danger and is going to crash in Dogtown. Now it was up for me to get there and save her. In return, I'm promised a cure, which could be a trick. Either way it's carved, I have to go help the president. Snake would never leave her hanging. She also gives me an upgrade here, where I can get the emergency cloaking perk. That can make me stealth in almost any combat She also gives me an upgrade here, where I can get the emergency cloaking perk. That can make me stealth in any combat scenario, except for a few exceptions. This will prove useful later on. We sneak inside and I do some slight parkour until we get to the main shop and center of Dogtown. I take this time to buy a few things such as chrome changes and some gun changes. I then get to the roof to watch where the ship lands and oh shit! I rushed to the crash site, dying a few times managing to get outside the shuttle, where I was forced into a combat encounter. It wasn't so hard, and then I enter the crash shuttle, where the president throws my twink ass around. Guess my CQC wasn't that good after all. But before we could chat, we were attacked again, and these guys were really strong. We managed together and quickly run off, following Songbird's guide to get out of there. After a bit of jogging, we find ourselves at an underground Militech museum, where we feel the toxic relationship between President Myers and Songbird, but we only get to relax for a second, until we are ambushed. Now I'm not gonna lie, this section is the worst designed section in this entire game. I'm not joking. When I tell you every single time I get to this fucking section, with the stealth build, it is the most torturous experience in this entire goddamn game. You have to be able to fight tier 3 enemies that are constantly barraging you and constantly pushing your position as a stealth build. And if you are a stealth build, you are completely fucked. I looked up online and other people agree that Chimera section just fucking sucks. But with the 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10 deaths we push through, which we are then immediately put into a boss fight because Songbird is the worst netrunner ever. Luckily this boss is a fucking cakewalk, like I get 3 deaths here. Finally we get to the apartment where we can rest. I wake up the next morning and President Myers wants to talk to me. Apparently she needs me to contact another agent in Dogtown, and to do so I need to be officiated in the NUSA database. So I agree and take the oath.
Seems we're on the same side. Can't hurt.
Oh, V.
Repeat after me. I, V, do hereby solemnly swear.
I, V, do hereby solemnly swear
to faithfully serve the new United States of America.
to faithfully serve the new United States of America.
I vow to uphold the values set forth in the nation's Constitution and represent its government with dignity and due diligence.
I vow to uphold the values set forth in the nation's Constitution and represent its government with dignity and due diligence.
I pledge to defend my country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Should this cause claim my life, so be it.
I pledge to defend my country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Should this cause claim my life, so be it.
I then head out to meet Reed, where Johnny gives me an example of what it's like to be an American soldier. I find the telephone and call it up.
Andrew Jackson, basketball court.
I then run to the meetup point. He then picks me up in his 2026 Ford F450 King Ranch Edition, where we go back to the president. After a quick meeting where we learned that the president backstabbed at Reed in the past, Reed daps me up. I have some downtime while Reed takes Myers back to DC, so I do some side gigs.
Who's your friend?
Oh, me? Just told you, I'm Bill.
Thanks, Bill, got that. No, I mean the dead fucking body on the table.
After a few gigs, I meet up with Takemura, and we go visit Wakako to get the plans about the Arasaka parade happening soon. While he figures that out, I get called back to Dogtown, where we meet up with Operative Alex. After witnessing a toxic relationship that reminds me of my parents, Reed tells us that we need to find a voodoo netrunner named Slider. We pull up to the place and sneak in through the vents before falling into the main room, and slowly sneak into the other side without alerting anybody. We finally get the Slider and use him to connect with Songbird. With the few seconds we have, Songbird wastes a lot of them, until finally telling us we have to break into the Black Sapphire and an upcoming party. Wonderful. Me and Reed head back outside and call up Mr. Hands. He tells me I was a good little boy for doing his gigs, and that he will happily help me. I then go meet him face to face where he hands me the information I need. Reed and Alex go over the plan, where I am then gifted a Silence 45.
45, huh? The feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. The slide's been reinforced, and the interlock with the frame is tightened for added precision. The sight system is original too. The thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger. A long type trigger with non-slip grooves. A ring hammer. The base of the trigger guard's been filed down for a higher grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized.
Then, me and Reed start the op. It starts with me swimming inside, stealthing two guys, and then me and Reed get to the sniper section. This is another part of the game that technically counts as a failure, because it's the sniper section where I need to kill 3 people. I think it's fine, since I'm killing people under NUSA orders, and that makes killing people okay in real life too, says the government. After that, we don our best suits and head inside. Songbird calls me over, where we see her in her true form, barely even human in a body of twisted chrome. I compliment her dress, and rejoins us to talk. We don't get long till Hanson interrupts, and before Songbird leaves, she reestablished a link with our chip. She tells us that we need to kidnap and pretend to be 2 twins. Reed has a chat with me first, where we both figure out what's going on. Songbird caused the plane crash, and was the reason why the president was almost assassinated, and the reason why she's in Hanson's custody. She did this on purpose to try to run away. She needs to be taken into NUSA custody. Alex then tells me to go talk with the twins. Well, gambling! Oh yeah! And we get to use government money. She tells me not to make fancy bets, only on colors. So I start betting on black, baby. Reed is late to join us, so I have to solo getting the info. I do a pretty great job, and was actually winning pretty damn well. Black was hitting back the back. And then the finale. All in on black. Come on, 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 come on. Let's fucking go! Yeah! Fuck whatever Hanson said. I left out of there smiling ear to ear. But once I get back, Alex tells me that the IRS collects about 24% of tax on gambling winnings. And my smile fades. She also tells me I need to get face surgery for the mission. Am I really that ugly? Reed also pulls me aside and lets me know the plan. We need to upload an ICE program that takes Songbird while she's knocked out. After watching my own face get torn off and put back on, we head out, where we then kidnap the Ginger twins, give them the CIA award for journalism, and then disguise ourselves as them. We then meet up with Hanson and Songbird again. After chatting a bit, we head downstairs, and and I have to make one of the most important decisions. I upload the ice, and she notices, taking the shot before mine could load. Alex gets gutted like a fish, and the room explodes from black wall energy. Realizing I don't have my guns, I had to sneak halfway across the facility while chasing Songbird. I get my guns back before heading to the exit, until Hansen interrupts. This was a hard boss battle. In the second phase, Hansen utilizes what looks like a Sandeviston to get up close and start stabbing my ass. I have to do a scummy tactic and get up on an object, so I force him into a gunfight instead of stabbing me. Finally, I get the hell out of there, and me and Reed watch as Songbird gets picked up by Max Tag. After asking the president, she says we have to get her back any means necessary, so me and Reed plan to stop the convoy to take her back to NUSA. After going over a plan, I take up my position to ambush the Militech convoy. Yeah, this wasn't really that hard. Honestly, compared to a lot of the rest of the game, this shit's just a pushover. What comes next is a whole hell of a lot worse though. Songbird crashes out the second the guards are knocked, nearly killing Reed. He tells me to give chase, so I follow after. We find the wreckage where she drove into the wall, then carving herself below the building. I follow after, following a trail of black wall energy. I jump past the point of no return. We find ourselves in a Militech laboratory. As we find an elevator, I chat with Johnny on our way down until she takes him from me.
No Reed. No Silverhand. No one. You are alone. All alone.
Okay, yeah, I'm fucking scared. But I have no choice but to continue forward. So, I walk further into the facility. I witness some strange hallucinations before getting hit by a door that weighs at least a ton. Taking it like a G, I figure out I have to break connections to unlock the door. So I go and knock out the first two turnables until, holy shit, what the fuck is that thing? I bolt the fuck out of there and crawl into a vent as the thing crawls above me, hunting me. I continue to the other terminals, quickly knocking them out while dodging the weird spider bot hunting me. Eventually I get past a few doors and what am I looking at? We need to shut down the core, which means taking out several of its control features. I don't know how safe this is, but I run off and get to it. After unplugging a few cables in the network system, we find out that the robot followed us in here. And now I'm being hunted while doing these tasks. Wonderful. Jump, skip, and a hop, I get the other objectives done with no problem. And the bot wasn't that hard to dodge, honestly. I run back to the core to shut it off and oh god, please. Where am I? Songbird shows me her life story. The girl from Brooklyn who wanted to get big, manipulated by the government, forced to work for them. She never wanted any of this, but the NUSA strong-armed her. Did I make the wrong choice? Waking up, the bot falls over dead and I pick myself up. I then go inside the core and face a very hard decision. Songbird asked me to take her life, to free her of the cage that she's been trapped in for so long. Because now, she faces a fate worse than death. I'm sorry, So-Mi, but under NUSA orders and my challenge rules, I cannot free you. Reed shows up and we take her out of there, cutting us to driving in the desert. We arrive to the pickup convoy where I carry her out of the truck. Then the Viper herself comes down and thanks us for her service. She gives us a medal and gives us her word that she can save So-Mi before her mind's gone. I don't know what to believe. We watch them fly off, and me and Reed talk, both of us reflecting on what we did, what we caused. He tells us that it'll take a few days before they can help me with my chip, So I head home. I had some time to reflect. In every way I could, I realized how the NUSA would never care about me. Just like how they never cared about Reed, about Alex, about Somi. If I took their deal to save my life, I'd never be free just like them. So I picked myself up to find another option. I meet Rogue, and she gives me the info about Hellman that I needed, and a name, Panam. Panam was supposed to help me out with a convoy, where Hellman was being transferred to Kang Tao. I drive out to meet Panam, and she immediately is bitchy towards me, which she continued to be like for the rest of the game. I don't know how people feel so attached about her. She's kinda just an asshole. Even if you help her entire family, she's just kinda like mean. Like not even in a loving way, she's just mean. Anywho, I agreed to help her get her truck back if she helps me. So we head out to the location where she plans to ambush them. I do it without a sweat, and we hop in the car. She then tries to convince me to help her kill some people. I tell her, nah, I don't fuck with that, which puts her in an even more pissed mood. We drop off the cargo, until figuring out the plan for the convoy. Her idea is to break into a power plant, set off an EMP, and cause a crash. So, we do just that. I have to kill a few robots, but I said earlier in the challenge that robots don't count. We then set off the EMP, and drive over to the crash site, only to find Panam's clan. Can I be honest here for a second? What the fuck were they thinking? Like, only powerful corps or news networks have these fucking flying things. So why would you ever show up to that? Why would you help? Are you stupid? Are they stupid? Either way, I tell her stay put and deal with the robots down there. I quickly run over to the bikes and chase after the vans that drove off with my guy Hellman. We pull up to a gas station, which I sneak inside and actually manage to get to Hellman without knocking anyone out. I kidnap him to a hotel where I get info on him. Turns out he's no help to me. A dead end. I sigh and hand him over to Takemura. With that as another dead end, I see us helping Takemura to be my only option to follow. I hit him up and he tells me his plan. We need to talk to Hanako, and the best way to talk to Hanako is to get on her float during the parade. So I need to break into an Arasaka warehouse and hack the float. We go to the rendezvous. I scout out the place before I make my move. I steal a van and drive up pretending to be a worker. I then sneak past the guards, get to the float, and upload the virus. Takemura then makes a distraction and I escape. I then jump off the roof and meet Takemura again. We then meet again for a few days later in time for the parade, where I must infiltrate and take out 3 snipers stealthily so Takemura can jump onto the float. I immediately fall to my death, before sneaking each of the snipers without any trouble. He then informs me of a netrunner that is giving him trouble, and I need to unplug him. I quickly run over, and right as I do, I get interrupted by Takemura's yaoi partner Oda. Now Oda is certainly an annoying fight since he's a melee main, but with some simple running around in circles and dodging around, you can take him out pretty easily. I knock him out and spare him from a death, from Takemura's request, and the challenge rules. I then hook up to the cameras and watch Hanako as Takemura sneaks inside. I see her on call, and then Takemura. What is he? Oh my god, he shot her. Oh shit. I immediately book it out of there as the entire plaza turns hostile. I run to the secret meetup point with Takemura. I knock 4 times and stare at the princess of the Arasaka family, kidnapped. We tell her that her brother killed her father, but before we could talk more, a knock comes at the door.
Damn it!
I pick myself up and think, I can't leave Takemura behind, so I decide to save his dumb ass. Running past a lot of guards, it's impossible to sneak in this section. So I go guns blazing to get to Takemura's side. We push out of there and agree to meet up at a separate time. I wake up a few days later in the hotel outside the city, where a chick comes to meet me. Hanako connects to her Neuralink and tells me that we need to talk. What the hell is the point of that? I am to meet her at Embers. Once she's gone, I consider my options and decide to do some of Johnny's side quests before I make the final decision. Johnny has me and Rogue attempt to find Smasher. He gathers info at the sacrifice of my body, but we pull up to Adam's old secret base. Turns out Smasher isn't here anymore, and works full-time at Arasaka again like the old days. I spare Grayson and get Johnny's car, which I drive out to the oil field where Johnny was supposedly buried. Johnny asked me to help him take Rogue on a date, which I also help him with at the cost of my own body. Nothing interesting happens, but he thanks me nonetheless. Finally, I think it was time for me to make my choice. I show up to Embers. Hanako tells me she knew her father was murdered by her brother, but she needed a way to prove it to kick him out of the Arasaka forever. She wants me to help her to prove it. In exchange, she promises to help me get to Mikoshi to save my life. She tells me one of Mikoshi's link locations is under Arasaka Tower, so I was her only chance. I tell her I'll think about it and leave until...
Great, you checking out again?
I wake up in Vic's clinic, where he tells me I don't have much time left. He gives me 2 different pills and a gun, and then tells me to go make my decision, but he'll be okay with whatever I choose. I thank him for everything and head to the roof. I sit there thinking, the options at disposal to save my life. I considered calling the NUSA, submit to the government, but no, that wasn't an option. I'd rather die standing than kneeling. Arasaka was the same story. And I also didn't want anyone's blood on my hands. After sitting in silence, Johnny gives me his idea.
I say you grab the hottest iron you can find, stride in the tower's front door, and cut your own path down to the lower levels. If Mikoshi's deep underground like Hanako claims it is, you'll just have to find the elevator.
It was time for my last operation, whether I live or die.
Walking by the wall, the shadows will not fall. It's silently ignored. Discouraged by the noise, living without choice is a life without a voice. When you can't even say my name, has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb? Go and call my name. I can play this game, so I ask again. Will you say my name? Has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb? Or have I become invisible?
I cut through their ranks like a thermal katana through steel. Through all my fights, all my triumphs, all my losses, I have become stronger. I push through and link Alt into the mainframe, where she lets me through Mikoshi, except for one final opponent.
When you don't hear a word I say, as the talking goes, it's a one-way flow. No fault, no blame. Has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb? And have I become invisible? station. Can you say my name? Has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb? Have we all become invisible?
As I step out of the ashes of victory, I feel my body failing me. I was only a few steps away from Mikoshi, so I step on. I then link myself up and drift into a deep, deep sleep.
Streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent to lead you to an overwhelming question. Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit.
Goodbye, V. And never stop fighting.
I survived, but now I faced a harder question than anything else. Now what? At least I know whatever it is, it'll be my choice. I want to thank all of you for sticking this far into the video. So now it's time for the analytics. For number of deaths, we have a fantastic 33. For number of resets, we have a beautiful 48. Honestly, compared to my other runs, these are great numbers. Though I guess this run had a lot more of a fun design than limited design. If you enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button. And if you enjoy this content, maybe subscribe so you can get notified of the next video. And don't forget about the Discord below. Also, thank you Myra Mors for the MGS song covers that were used in this video, and giving me full permission to use them. I'll leave the links to the videos down below, and a link to her Twitch. Give her your love. Alright, see y'all in the next one. Skibbity. Toilet. I'm doing a sound test. I'm doing a sound test. Skibbity toilet.